Stand by. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Coming up, concerns surrounding Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine lead the university to cancel appointments. That and more next. Newswatch Ole Miss starts now. Good evening and thank you for tuning in to Newswatch Ole Miss. I'm Mason Scioneaux. There's developing news this evening in regards to the coronavirus. The University of Mississippi has canceled appointments for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in response to new recommendations from the CDC and FDA. The two agencies are investigating blood clotting in recipients of the vaccine. They released a joint statement today recommending a pause in vaccine distribution out of an abundance of caution. 6 women between the ages of 18 and 44 suffered severe blood clots after they were vaccinated with Johnson & Johnson's vaccine. 6.8 million doses of the vaccine have already been distributed, some of those on campus here. Ole Miss student Madison Todd had an appointment that was canceled earlier today. Sorry for those technical difficulties. Students and employees who have already been vaccinated and have concerns can contact the student or employee health centers on campus. The CDC and FDA recommend contacting your doctor if you experience severe headaches, abdominal pain, leg pain, or shortness of breath within 3 weeks of getting your Johnson & Johnson vaccine. 2 local teachers accused of illicit sexual relationships with students have again had their trials delayed. The Lafayette County Circuit Court granted a continuance in the trials of former teachers Molly Ray of Lafayette High and Oxford High's James Reedy. Reedy was indicted in 2018 on 2 charges of sexual battery in relation to his actions with a 16-year-old student. Ray was also indicted that same year on charges of enticing a minor. She allegedly met a 17-year-old male student for sexual purposes. The 2 have been granted 8 continuances in their cases, and they both are represented by attorney Tony Barisi. They are currently out on bail. Oxford police have made 3 arrests in relation to sex trafficking charges. Bailey Prince and Dorian Howell of Oxford are in jail today after OPD responded to reports of shots fired near their Super 8 hotel. Upon investigation, OPD alleges the 2 had been prostituting a minor female. They were charged on April 8th with procuring sexual servitude of a minor. OPD also charged Othman Alamari of Oxford with enticement of a child to meet for sexual purposes. The incident related to his October 2020 contact with a minor who was in custody of Child Protective Services. Lafayette County Justice Court set his bond at $25,000. The Lafayette County Sheriff's Department has charged a Water Valley man with grand larceny. 26-year-old LaKendrick Hervey is accused of stealing over $60,000 of items, including a 2017 Toyota Tacoma and a 16-foot trailer. Hervey is being held on bond at $35,000. There are 2 acclaimed speakers delivering the Class of 2020 and Class of 2021 commencement addresses next month. One of the most famous players in Ole Miss football history, Patrick Willis, is speaking on May 8th for the graduated 2020 class. And Habitat for Humanity CEO Jonathan Reckford is speaking on May 1st for the graduating seniors. Willis is a 4-year letter winner for the Rebels for his time at the university as a defensive player, and Reckford has helped over 35 million people to construct, rehabilitate, or preserve homes. 10 university seniors were inducted into the university's 2020-2021 Hall of Fame at Friday's Who's Who ceremony. Hall of Fame is one of the highest honors a student can receive from the university. The inductees were selected by a committee chosen by the associated student body, and these students have shown outstanding contributions in all aspects of campus life. Congratulations to these 10 students, and congratulations to the 200 Who's Who students as well. including 3 of Newswatch's own, Kaylee Crafton, Grayson Ashmore, and myself. And joining those 10 students and being honored is a professor that Chancellor Boyce lauded for being a champion for the value of higher education and someone who has had a transformative impact on the lives of his students. Dr. Patrick Alexander has been awarded the 2021 L.C.F. Hood Outstanding Teacher Award. This is considered the highest honor given to UM faculty and comes with a $5,000 prize, an engraved plaque, and the honoree's name added to a display in the campus library. Aside from his teaching, Alexander has been celebrated for starting the Prison to College Pipeline program. The program allows imprisoned persons to take college classes. Dr. Alexander has been on faculty at the university since 2012. The city of Oxford is ranked as the 2nd strongest town in the nation. In a tournament-style contest featuring 16 towns from around the U.S., Oxford finished as the runner-up to Lockport, Illinois. Lockport won 54% of the final round vote to Oxford's 46%. To reach the final, Oxford defeated Ridgewood, New Jersey, Yellow Springs, Ohio, and Bentonville, Arkansas. In different rounds, representatives from each town were tasked with answering questions on topics like transportation, housing, economic development, and response to COVID-19. The contest is hosted yearly by the Strong Towns organization. It provides resources, education, and funding for infrastructure and community building in participating towns across America. We have the latest in the world of sports, but first, what to expect outside for the week after the break.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Each year, hurricanes and major flooding threaten cities, towns, and rural homes across the Gulf states. So chances are there will be more storms and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Welcome back to Stormwatch. I'm Gavin Norton. I hope everybody is enjoying the warmth right now because I cannot promise it's going to stay for a while. Take a look, South Haven here, they're at 75 degrees. Holly Springs at 79 degrees. Oxford, we're at 80. Corinth is at 80. Tupelo is at 80. And that's because we are still enjoying the last bits of this warm front that is leaving us oh so quickly. You can see South Haven already dropping in temperatures. We're going to be dropping in temperatures too, but let's take a look at where we're at right now. Okay, we see our current temperatures right now at 80 degrees. That's going to be mostly nice for us. It's partly cloudy, low winds, but they are pushing south, and those southeasterly winds are going to be important later. A very low chance of rain, only 5%. But again, all this can change very quickly, and it is going to. Like, take a look at tonight. We're going to get all the way down to 64 degrees. I know it doesn't seem too cold, but it's a beacon for what's to come. It's going to be cloudy. We're going to have some winds coming from the southeast, like I said earlier, at about 5 miles an hour, maybe get up to the 10s, and a chance of rain at only 20%, and that 20% is mostly going to come in the early AM period of tomorrow. Take a look at tomorrow as a whole. We could see 60 degrees is the high with scattered showers. There's about a 70% chance of these showers happening, and winds are going to be pushing from the east at about 10 miles per hour, which means that we are going to get out of this period of rain and storm rather quickly. But again, it's that 70% chance that we really have to watch out for. If we go into a little bit more detail on what that's going to look like tomorrow, we can see showers are going to hit before 3 p.m. So that's the latest that I expect these to land in Oxford. And then the big thing we want to look for is the chance of thunderstorms. It is small. Even the chance of rain is 70%. It's not for certain. But if it's anything like these past few weeks, thunderstorms are going to be heavy. They're going to come in quick. They're going to roll out quick. We're going to expect those between 3 and 5 p.m. Furthermore, we expect the rain as a whole to leave by 8 o'clock. Which is going to lead way to a wet but pleasant evening. And we look forward to the rest of the week where temperatures are going to hover around the low 70s, mid 70s, partly cloudy. And that's going to continue all the way into the weekend. Mason, so that's back to you.
Thanks, Gavin. Swayze was packed this weekend for the Rebels contest against Arkansas, but it wasn't enough to put the Rebels over the top. And Ole Miss tennis honored its seniors this weekend. AJ Norwood is in the studio with more coming up in sports.
You told me not to talk to strangers. You told me not to cross the street without looking both ways.
You told me not to touch the stove.
You told me not to do drugs.
You told me not to drink and drive.
You gave me so many messages about how to stay safe. Why didn't you keep me safe by properly storing your gun?
Me, bro. Oh, God.
Welcome back to Sports Watch. I'm AJ Norwood. This past weekend wasn't exactly kind to head coach Mike Bianco and the baseball team as they dropped 2 out of 3 games to the Arkansas Razorbacks. In Game 1 of Saturday's doubleheader, the Bats were smoking for the Rebels. But after leaving 13 runners on base and issuing 11 walks, the Rebels couldn't muster anything but a mediocre 7-3 loss. But Game 2 of Saturday's doubleheader is where the Rebels were able to bounce back. After a hot start by the Rebel Bats and junior pitcher Doug Nikhazy, Ole Miss was able to tack on a pair of runs in the first inning. The Razorbacks would finally get on the board in the fourth after an error from the Rebels. Ole Miss would go on to take the win 13-6. And Game 3 of the weekend series was perhaps the wildest game you could ever watch. In a game that looked as if it was firmly in the hands of the Razorbacks, the Rebels would never be out of the fight. Trailing by as many as 11 at one point in the game, the Rebels would even up the score 14-14 in the 7th inning. But despite an amazing comeback, the Razorbacks were seemingly too much to handle as they would take the win by the score of 18-14. The Rebels will look to bounce back tonight as they host the Governors of Austin Peay. And keeping things on the diamond, the Ole Miss softball team was able to win their weekend SEC series against the South Carolina Gamecocks, winning 2 games out of 3. In Game 1 of the weekend series, it was all about the Rebel offense. The Rebels had a 1-0 lead up until the 4th inning when they were able to bring in 4 more runners. With a 5-0 lead safely in hand, the Rebels kept the pedal to the metal, bringing in 3 more runners in the 5th to secure Game 1 by the score of 8-0. Game 2 of the weekend series was a lot different than Game 1. The Gamecocks and Ole Miss were neck and neck at the end of the 3rd. But that was up until senior Gabby Alvarez stepped up to bat. A 3-run bomb by Alvarez would be the difference maker in Saturday's win as the Rebels would take the win 8-5. But the winning ways just wouldn't last for the Ole Miss softball team after they could only muster 1 run in Sunday's 10-1 loss. The Ole Miss softball team will have a chance to bounce back tomorrow as they host the Memphis Tigers at 6 o'clock p.m. Now to race over to the track, the Ole Miss men's and women's track and field team showcased their dominance over the weekend at the Joe Walker Invite, winning 6 events on just day 1. Perhaps the biggest story on the track was All-American senior Waleed Sullivan. Over the weekend, Sullivan became the first American to eclipse the U.S. Olympic trial standard in the men's 1500 meter on Saturday. Sullivan and the Rebels will be hitting the ground running again this weekend when they travel to Gainesville to take on Florida in the Florida Tom Jones Classic. And kicking things over to the soccer pitch, the Ole Miss soccer team picked up its 6th straight win as they shut out the South Alabama Jaguars on Saturday by the score of 3-0. The Rebels were able to tame the Jaguars early as Mo O'Connor put her team on the board in the 13th minute. Molly Martin and Ramsey Davis were also able to find the back of the net for the Rebels in Saturday's win. That game completed a perfect season for Coach Mott's squad, who will take the field one last time for an exhibition match in Little Rock on Thursday. And finally, serving things up on the tennis court, the Ole Miss men's and women's tennis team had a good amount of success over the weekend. On Thursday, the women's tennis team swept number 21 Vanderbilt 4-0. Thursday's win marked the first time the Rebels defeated the Commodores since 2013. On Friday, the Rebel men lost 5-2 to number 17 Kentucky. Ole Miss was able to win only 1 match in doubles and 2 in singles. In Saturday's women's tennis senior day matchup, the Rebs knocked off the Kentucky Wildcats 4-1. The Rebels swept the Wildcats in singles in their final home match of the 2021 regular season. And finally on Sunday, the men's tennis team was able to conclude its regular season on a high note, knocking off the Vanderbilt Commodores 4-3 and finishing its regular season with a positive conference record for the first time since 2015. Ole Miss will travel to Fayetteville, Arkansas for the SEC Championship beginning on April the 19th. Well, that's all I've got for sports. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at rebel_watch for more of your latest sports updates. Mason, back to you.
Thanks, AJ. Our very own former advisor was awarded for 2 distinguished awards. That after the break.
I just found out my work party is a +1. You want to go? This is my boss, Ella.
Nice to meet you, Greg.
You're welcome. Nope, I'm high. But I'll clean the kitchen while you're gone.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
Pool party at Jesse's. Can you drive? I'm toasted.
Nope, I'm high. But I can order us a ride.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Newswatch's very own former advisor, Dr. Nancy DuPont, won 2 distinguished awards, the Edward L. Bliss Award for Electronic Journalism and the Larry Burkham Service Award. The Bliss Award goes to educators who contribute to electronic journalism, while the Burkham Service Award goes to electronic journalism educators who contributed extraordinary service to journalism and journalism education. Dr. DuPont is the only person to ever win both of these very prestigious awards in the same year. She will be honored by the division at the annual Association for Education in Journalism and Mass Communication Electronic News Division Social on August 5th. Congratulations, Dr. DuPont. And we certainly know Dr. Dupont very well here at Newswatch, as she's been a friend of Newswatch for many years and given much service to us over the years.
Many, many years of service indeed. And I couldn't help, while you were saying all that, to relate her in a way to the weather that we're going to be having over the next few days, believe it or not. I mean, she's a double threat, right? First person to win 2 awards. We're going to have 2 types of weather. It's very, very nice, very warm right now. Come tomorrow, it's going to be rain, possible thunderstorms, so we have the double threat there. And also very, very kind to us, because it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful weekend.
And thank you for that, Gavin. That's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to Newswatch Ole Miss. You can catch our show live on Facebook, YouTube, and on our website. The show is also now available on IGTV. Make sure to also follow our social media pages for updates. I'm Mason Scioneaux. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.